Welcome to the deep, dark, cold waters of the ocean. This is a story written by a good friend, Blake Blizzard. We very much hope you enjoy. If you would like to hear more of his stories, please check out Chilling, the Scary Stories app that I founded a little over a year ago. And please keep in mind, you can download and try it for free. And we now have over 1,000 stories for you. The link is in the description to this video. Now, let's begin. Lovely Water by Blake Blizzard. Dusk. The salty water intermittently covers my feet. They sink slightly into the shore each time. The sounds of the ocean flood my ear canals. If I could see myself from a third-person perspective, I'd imagine my eyes would be rolling into my head before closing. At peace. In love with the ambience. Are there any sharks in that water, Mom? Sigh. No, son, that's a lake. Lakes contain fresh water. Sharks cannot swim in fresh water. I must have asked my mother that same question every single time we crossed the Mackinac Bridge. The bridge not only connects the upper and lower peninsulas of Michigan, but also creates the border from Lake Michigan to Lake Huron. All my little brain could think was there are monsters in dim-dare waters. But my mother, bless her soul, not only maintained patience with me, but assured me every time that there were no sharks or any other monsters in the lake. Years later, now an adult, wiping my own butt and everything, I see a headline of an online article that makes me actually laugh out loud. Let me back up for just a moment, give you all some lovely context. I've traded the lake life for the salt life, almost 2,000 miles away from my childhood upbringing. I now live on the West Coast. I get to wake up to 70-degree days in late December. The smells and sounds of the ocean surround me every day. A far cry from the frigid, below-zero days, with only the cold as your greeter. I still keep up with my quote-unquote local news. I usually jump on the Detroit Free Press once a week. As such, I get recommended stories on my various feeds. That title I mentioned from earlier, Bull Shark, found in remote Michigan lake. Well, well, well. What is this, Mom? After reading further, the article explains that although rare, there have been several bull shark sightings within the past 2 decades in the Great Lakes area. Apparently, bull sharks are so tenacious and adaptable that they can not only live in brackish water, but full-on freshwater. Rare, but not impossible. I wasn't laughing out loud anymore, just quietly to myself. I don't think my mother was purposely keeping that information from me. I doubt she knew, or even cared, but I was vindicated. Sharks could have been in those lakes. One thought was staying with me, though. Adaptable. The will to not just live, but survive, is truly amazing. These sharks found their way out of water that transitioned from salt to fresh, and instead of dying, they fought. I took a pause. Grabbing my cold brewed coffee, I looked out toward the ocean. The crashing waves always brought me peace, brought me back to reality. The ocean is known for being a dangerous place. That I never doubted. I never doubted that devilish creatures lived there. I never doubted that people could live. What is that? Squinting my eyes, I tried to focus on a cove that just barely is visible from where I live. Most days, you would have to use binoculars to see it. Today, the smog and weather had cooperated to allow me clear visibility. It must be over 10 miles away. There's something out there. A woman. No, stop it. Now that is not possible. It's not an island, just a few rocks out in the cove. No one kayaked out there. It's much too dangerous. And there's nowhere to stop. You didn't just lay on the rocks out there. But I could see her. Red hair, white skin. That's really all I could see. She appeared to be sitting on the rock. Facing away from me, I could see long red hair cascading from her head down to the rock, maybe 3 or 4 feet long. Her arms, white and strong, were propping her body up, fingers spread. Her legs, those I couldn't see, until they came into view, moving up and down in front of her, just barely peeking from in front of her back. Her legs were not white like her arms. They were green? No, dark. She must have been wearing pants. Maybe I should be calling the authorities. She has to be marooned out there. I threw my coffee into the sink and made my way to my cell phone. Before I could punch the first of 3 emergency numbers in, a cooing sound as sweet as a Sunday psalm was echoing in my head. There were no words, but I could hear the familiar melody of Hallelujah being pounded out slow and mesmerizing. I dropped the phone. The phone smacking the wood floor snapped me out of my altered state. I looked at my computer, seeing the article about bull sharks somehow making their way into the Great Lakes. The beasts found their way into a place where they don't belong, seemingly to eat and survive as they would in their natural habitat. It's not like you don't eat if you're on vacation, right? Even though you are not in your home, you still need to survive. Focused on sharks again, I sharply moved my neck towards the ocean. I completely forgot about the woman I just saw sitting out in the middle of the sea. The fog has crept in now. This doesn't make sense, but I think a few hours have passed. The horizon has subtly faded into the water. It was daylight when I saw her. Now dusk has appeared. Somehow, I can still see. I can see that she is gone. A huge sigh escapes me. A sigh my mother made every time I asked the stupid questions about sharks being in freshwater lakes.